Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new talk with Fionn and myself. Do you want to say a little bit about your weekend, Fionn, or not?
I think it's unmentionable with you on the team, but yeah, no, it was my obviously my 18th birthday, so it was a nice weekend, obviously, because I was seeing some friends and I managed to go out to the pub. But for myself, feeling a bit tired, feeling a bit lethargic this past week. So the talk that we're about to discuss today is actually quite prominent within my lifestyle this current week. So yeah, have a listen.
Definitely. So
Yeah.
we'll get straight into it because we want to try and give you as much information as possible and try and educate anyone out there. All different parts of health and fitness. We're not just instructors that count reps, and we don't just believe in exercise. We believe in like the pillars of fitness or pillars of health and wellness, not just fitness. That would be the wrong word to use. And it's all about stress management. It's about nutrition. It's about exercise, community, family, everything. We're going to cover all of that. But for today, we're going to cover the importance of sleep. And I feel like it was a relevant topic to talk about after Fionn's birthday. How much sleep did you get on the Saturday?
Well, from when I woke up on Saturday morning, which was about 8 o'clock in the morning, nothing until Sunday about just before midday. Won't go into too much of the details. So it was a 26-hour stint of no sleep. But I had plenty of hours on Sunday, so it's fine.
But so just to say, like, give me an example. How did you feel after that? Like, what was your pre-birthday? Yeah.
Like you just touched on it then. Sorry, I cut in. We got a bit of lag going on, but yeah, pre-birthday I had everything set out. I had, I was good. I switched my phone off probably about 45 minutes before bed. I'd take my phone to the bathroom, wash my face, brush my teeth, all that kind of stuff. I switched it off. I turned my blue light off, brightness down, dark mode on, everything like that. 45 minutes before, I go to the bathroom, get myself ready, come into bed, which usually takes 15 minutes. Read a book. So it's a chapter of a book that Luke's passed on to me, which I took up literally a couple of days before, and I was so into it. And then read the book, and then I have this app on my phone called Calm. So I literally just go straight onto my phone, click Calm, and it basically a woman just talks you through a nice scene. I like listening to the forest one, so it's talking about the leaves and the nice scenery and all that kind of stuff, and sticking their head down in this nice serene place. And so that was my routine. I was getting probably about 7.5 to 8 hours a night. I was consistently waking up, probably about 6:30, 6:45 if at the latest, getting my stuff done. I was running. I was doing my gratitude. I actually started stretching 2 days before. I know it's only 2 days, but for me, it was quite a lot, fitting that into my morning. I was eating well, and everything was on track. And then this, for the past, maybe 5-6 days now, it's just been a downhill spiral. Obviously today, a bit better. I got up early, but I'm still not 100%. And that's purely because of lack of sleep.
Yeah. And I mean, see, it took me quite a few years to realize that you everyone always says the early bird catches the worm. And that's true to a certain extent. But what I would say when it comes down to sleep for anyone out there is I like getting up early. And early for me is 6:30 in the morning. That's my alarm. My alarm goes off at 6:30, and that's every single day. But I don't do it different on weekends. I used to do it different on weekends. But I felt actually when I got up later on the weekends, I was kind of chasing the day. I felt a bit grumpy that I got up later. So it doesn't really make sense to me. I would actually prefer to, if I went to sleep a bit late on a Saturday or Sunday, Friday, Saturday, to actually have a nap in the afternoon instead if I needed one. But I felt like when I got up at like 8 o'clock on a Sunday, that felt like I was wasting my day. But I'll be in bed or knackered by like 10 o'clock at night. So everybody's different. And it doesn't mean you have to get up at crack of dawn. But we're talking about this optimal amount of sleep you want to get. And we personally recommend that you get a minimum of 6 hours. But we like to get you in that 7 to 8 hour range. All right. That's the kind of what we're trying to guide people towards. But what would you say with yours sleep-wise, Phil? And how much sleep have you been getting? Like on average, normally?
Normally, it is between the 7 and 8, and before it wasn't, and it was usually maybe 5.5, 6, so nearing that very minimum. However, at the time I thought, that's fine. I'm working good. I'm getting my stuff done. It was kind of like 80% getting my work done, 20%, kind of slouching throughout the day. I would find myself quite tired, so sitting on the sofa, maybe nodding off a little bit. But then over the lockdown, I think within the first 3 weeks, I was, as it was, staying up late on my phone kind of thing, as you do, if you're a bit naive to how much better you can feel. And obviously, Luke, you talked to me about that, about how important it is to feel good and how much better it is. So within that, I think within the first month of lockdown towards the end, I started getting myself, knuckling down on personal growth, on how I feel. And then from ever since then, it's been 7.5, maybe 8 hours. 8 hours at a push is a good night. But
Yeah.
for me, feeling better is just the thought of not feeling good now due to obviously alcohol consumption and lack of sleep. And that leads to many different things, like obviously we're not touching on that, but lack of trainings, lack of exercise, and poor food choices as well. It all adds up together to not feeling the best. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was this book, and I always go back to it, it's Atomic Habits, and it was talking about the British cycling team years ago. They didn't used to be very good, and they got a new coach in, and what they looked at doing was just improving by like marginal percentages on each area. So not just looking at their cycling, they were looking at their sleep, their stress, their hygiene, so they didn't get ill as often, their nutrition. And actually, if you look at those pillars and you think, right, can we do any more exercise? Potentially might not have enough time to do any more exercise. Can we do more steps? Potentially yes, potentially no. But could we actually get a little bit more sleep here? Or could we improve the quality of our sleep? And that's the thing, because if you look at all aspects of your life, and you might go, well, what the hell's sleep got to do with like fat loss? Hey, it's got a massive thing to do with fat loss. I mean, Fionn, crack away, because I know you did, you like this little bit. I mean, you've read a lot into sleep, haven't you?
Yeah. I delved into a little bit on one of the emails that we did, but an important thing for sleep massively is obviously to start off with, if you're less tired throughout the day, you have more energy and you have the oomph to go out and do them steps like you touched on, but also with your exercise as well, you've got more motivation to keep yourself fit, to keep yourself active, to go and train. Your food choices massively, the impact on how you feel. You've embarrassed me here because I've completely forgot which way around leptin and ghrelin go. Because you said about it before, but
the basic hormonal responses on it, that if you don't get enough sleep, for example, then your hormones don't work and function as well as what they could do with the regular amount of sleep. So, for example, on your email you touched on, you were saying that if you were, say, for example, getting 4 hours sleep a night, you might eat food, but you still feel hungry and you're constantly trying to eat. Whereas actually, if you're getting the 7 to 8 hours sleep, you'd have a meal and your body would feel full because it's producing the right amount of hormones. And that's what it comes down to. People are going, I've got to fit everything in. But actually, you're spending 2-3 hours sat on the sofa watching TV. You've got to use your time efficiently and you've got to make the most of every hour, every minute you've got. And for people to say they don't have enough time to sleep for 6 to 7 hours, I can't. It's hard. I would say it's hard for me to understand that because I feel like everyone's got the same 24 hours in a day. So if you sleep for 7 hours, right? You're going to be a math magician to work that one out. You've got 17 hours left over. Even if you worked a 10-hour day, you'd still have 7 hours left over. So what are you doing with those 7 hours? I don't understand it. You maybe have an hour, half an hour there and back to commute. Okay. That brings 11 hours. You still got 6 hours. You spend an hour with your partner or 2 hours with your partner and family. That still gives you 4 hours, an hour to train. That still gives you 3 hours. So if you're saying you don't have time to sleep or you don't have time to do this, what I would suggest is actually getting an Excel spreadsheet every 15 minutes from when you wake up to when you go to bed. What are you doing in each slot in between? And I can guarantee you there are so many slots of time where you're literally doing sweet FA. And That's those little bits that you want to improve on. And even myself, I'll be honest, I say I'm busy. I could definitely be more productive, 100%. You know, I could definitely fit different bits in. I'm definitely moving towards being far more productive than I ever was before, but there's definitely gaps where I can fit slots in. So if you're one of those people saying, I haven't got time to exercise, I haven't got time to sleep more hours, you know, for example, I'd argue you're probably making excuses. You know, you're not prioritizing your health and your wellness, which then is going to have a massive detrimental effect to the rest of your life. It's going to have an effect on your family, your relationships, your friends, your community, your job, the lot. And if you don't look after yourself, then you can't expect to look after other people. That was
Yeah,
my
massively.
that was my rant.
Right over. I'll just say it for an example, like to go back on what I was saying. Obviously, I think for me massively, food choice is so important, because one aspect of obviously sleeping is when you wake up, you feel tired, you feel a bit grouchy, you feel a bit moody. You reach for the things that you know that are going to make you feel a little bit better and pick you up, and whether that's mentally or physically. So whether it's, you know, some sugar, you know, like I've wanted to say this since it happened the other day, and was waiting for the live so I could talk about it so it come up. But the other day I was just sitting on the sofa, and I went in to the freezer to see what, you know, what niceties, what goodies we had, and we had these little mini ice creams from Lidl, and they're only tiny. They're maybe the size of like your finger or something. I had 5 of them in a row.
That's about I do all the time.
The other,
Yeah.
but it's like it's easy done, and it's apply that into fat loss. If you're not sleeping well, obviously there's other different aspects, but if you're not sleeping well, if you're not getting that good sleep, food choice is lower. You subconsciously reach for the things that you know are going to give you a little G up, a little boost. And that's a prime example. We're all human at the end of the day. Like, none of us are perfect. I just wanted to share that for anyone who's listening who maybe feels a little bit guilty about something that they ate, or something that, you know, a time that they didn't train. It all happens. We're all human, but we can massively improve that. And what you touched on there with the organizing your day, whether it's on a spreadsheet or just a notepad, I do it on a notepad. Well, I was doing that before, actually. I've got an Excel spreadsheet now, like you touched on, and I hang that up either on my wall, or I stick that on the kitchen table, because that's where we go, where we see it most obviously. And like you say, finding little time slots in the day to improve yourself. So whether it's watching TV, I like to say, you know, watching TV, you've got an hour, you've got 12 minutes ad break, so it's 4 3-minute ad breaks. Get up, do some squats, or walk up and down the stairs for that 3 minutes, kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's good. And you're trying to create good habits, aren't you? That's what you're trying to do. And I mean, we touch on that all the time, but you're trying to create good habits, and you're trying to remove the not so good habits. And it's that seesaw effect. And when it comes to sleep, if people say my sleep is crap, and I hear that all the time, right? Let's look at sleep hygiene, for example. Ask yourself, honestly, what do you do before you go to bed? Because if you're on social media before you go to bed, right? Argument's sake, my bedtime is 10:30, right? So what do? 8:30 p.m. I make sure I don't go on my phone anymore. Sometimes I do, I try not to, right? So that's 2 hours pre-bed. That's me just chilling out. I put my phone in another room because I know I'm going to look at it if I have it next to me, right? That goes off. What I then do is I try and do a bit of a wind down routine. I watch a TV program till 9:30. So 8:30 till 9:30, I watch TV, watch an episode of something of some sort with Bex. Then at 9:30, I read a book till 10 o'clock, right? So I read half an hour, I read 10 pages of a book, and then I start getting ready for bed. In the bedroom, I don't have my phone in there with me. I've got a Lumi alarm clock, which I think is amazing. If you haven't got one, get one, because when you wake up in the morning, the light goes on slowly, so it mimics sunrise. Massive game changer. I set my alarm clock across the other side of the bed, so I can't hit the snooze function. That's for another topic, right? I've got blackout blinds in my bedroom. I've got a couple of plants, right? Because you're getting all those benefits to your body, right? I make sure I switch all the sounds off. There's no like kind of noise outside. You know, my bed's nice and comfy. I don't spend any time in the bedroom apart from when I sleep. You're doing all of that. You may want to add in chamomile tea before you go to bed. You may want to add in lavender on your pillow. You may want to have a bath before you go to bed. But don't just say your sleep's crap if you don't do anything about it. Is there anything you do before you go to bed, Fionn?
One of the things that I find is really important, and I talked to you about it the other day, but it'd be good to bring it up, is obviously the term, it may sound a bit long-winded, but we'll get into it. The term breakfast essentially means breaking the fast. So the fast means, you know, not consuming something for a certain amount of time. So you go to bed at 10:30, you wake up at 6:30, you haven't eaten or you haven't drunk anything for 8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours. So what I do, so important, is every night before I go to sleep, I fill up a pint of water and put it right next to my bed. So the first thing that I do is, first thing that I turn up and wake, obviously turn my alarm clock off, which is just here, which is good because I need that because I'm terrible at waking up. But yeah, pint of water by my bed as soon as possible. We are, I think we're 96, 97, 98% liquid in our body. So for 8 hours for us not to consume the most important thing that's keeping us alive, it's just silly. And if you wake up, you know, 6:30, you go and brush your teeth, then you go for your breakfast, and, you know, you go outside and, you know, you do different things and you haven't hydrated for that 9 hours, you know, 9.5, 10 hours. Sometimes people don't even drink when they wake up and they just go straight to work because they're rushed off their feet. They've got a bad sleep pattern, all this kind of thing. So I think sticking a pint of water by yourself and hydrating yourself as soon as you wake up is just a fresh. And for me, it's changed massively. And I listened to that on another podcast that I listened to, and I find that so important. Yeah. So all the things that you do, I don't have this fancy alarm clock because I'm not bringing in the big bucks just yet. But
yeah, honestly, Lumi alarm clock it's a game changer. It's like people use their phone right, and they put their phone right next to their bed, and some people don't even turn their phone like on silent. They or airplane mode. Bex never used to. Like when we first started going out, she used to have the noise on. Sometimes you get a text like 2 a.m, and I'd be like, "Nah, that ain't happening. Get that phone off, out the window straight away." Yeah, I'm not. I cannot stress the breakup in sleep that gives you, right? And another thing about sleep, everyone out there, if you do have sleep issues, if you suffer from insomnia, I'm not a sleep expert, all right? I'm just going by on, or we're going by on what we've just learned from improving your sleep habits and books. I'm just seeing if I've got the book about sleep on there. I read a whole book on it. But what I am saying is don't stress about sleep. That's the most important thing. Because if you're just lying there going, oh, I need 7 hours, I need it, right? Then you're not going to get it, okay? You need to learn to relax. You need to learn to, you know, try and do things that chill you out and calm you down, right? Can you calm yourself down when you're watching the news before bed and it's talking about COVID? All these different types. I'm not even going to go into details about the news.
Yeah.
All this negative propaganda being stuffed down your throat, right, before you go to bed. No wonder people can't sleep, right? The worst thing to do is watch the news at 10. Don't watch it, right? Don't watch it first thing in the morning either, because then you're filling your head with that negativity first thing in the morning. I would even suggest don't bother watching any of it, right? Because I don't watch the news. I haven't watched the news the whole of COVID, and I still seem to know what's going on. You know, people tell you along the lines, right? If you want to get a bit of news, I mean, jump on your phone midday. You'll get all the news you need to know. There's nothing really going to be that much updated at the 4 o'clock news, the 6 o'clock news, the 8 o'clock news. It's still the same, right? It's still the same news. They're pumping down your throat, and it's still the same negativity. And me, I'm off on one ear. I'm going on. It's scaremongery. Okay, it's increasing scarcity in people. It's making people nervous wrecks. And when you stop watching it, you'll realize your life is better without it. Okay, I'm not saying you need to be naive and duck your head in the sand and pretend nothing's happening. I understand what's happening. I understand what's going on, but my life is a lot better by not having that last thing at night. Right. My life's a lot better by not looking on this phone, right, and reading negative posts on Facebook, Instagram before I go to bed, and before I wake up as well. I cannot stress that enough. So biggest tips, take-home points, turn your phone off 2 hours before you go to bed. That's an absolute no-brainer, right? That's what everyone should be doing. Read, whether you read a newspaper, magazine, a book, whether it's a paint-by-numbers book, a colouring book, you know, anything. Do something that doesn't involve you watching TV or watching a screen. Yeah, that is 2 massive things. A to-do list is great. I have a little notepad, got it here. I make it small, yeah? And I literally write down random stuff. And the reason I do that is because I'm offloading what I'm thinking about onto a pad of paper. That's my little ideas pad. Gets rid of it. I know when I wake up, then it's fresh. I've got it down somewhere. I'm not worried about if I'm going to forget certain things. Blackout room, so important. You know, bath before you go to bed, chamomile tea, lavender on your bed sheets. Set yourself up for that routine. Your body needs routine, and routine gets results. Hello, mate.
Here she is.
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah. But
Another thing that I'd add to that, obviously that's a huge list, and we're not saying that we're not saying that all of these are absolutely essential. They are all just tips, tricks that you can try and implement into your lifestyle to improve. However, you're not going to be able to do them all at once. That's not achievable.
yeah,
But another couple of things, if you did listen to a couple of them and you are interested, is I've also found that number one, having quite a carb heavy supper. So just before, maybe like an hour and a half before you go to bed, people think that eating past 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock is going to cause you to gain this weight overnight because you're not moving. If you're within your calorie limit throughout the day, and if this is in your calorie limit, you're not going to gain this magical weight by sleeping, whatever the myth is. But carb heavy, obviously, that gets us into that nice relaxed state. Top it up with having a bath, and make sure also that you're not drinking any liquids, preferably an hour before your bedtime, because most of us wake up in the night to have a pee. That means we're not getting that full-on deep sleep. We're waking up, we're being disturbed. Similar to your text message, you may think that getting up in the night for a pee is absolutely fine, but it's no different to waking up on your phone, reading a text message, and going back to sleep again. It disturbs that pattern. So if you want to, if it's within your calorie limit, have a nice, maybe a bowl of oats, some porridge, I don't know, have a bit of toast before bed. It's not going to kill you. It's fine. But also, yeah, drinking an hour and a half before bed is probably going to prevent us from waking up during the night for our pee break. Yeah.
And do you know what? You touched on something which is quite interesting. Talk about carbs, everyone. If you are on keto, which is basically no carbohydrates, yeah, one thing, I don't know why you're on it, right? Because I'll simplify it nice and easy. You can achieve fat loss and you can achieve a great physique through still eating bread, pasta, rice, carbohydrates, etc. If you have an intolerance to different things, completely get it. I understand why you'd want to reduce it. Or one more thing, if you're epileptic, then keto-based diets have definitely had significant results and reduced seizures for epileptics. That's a great point, right? However, if you're not one of those two people, right, then why would you want to avoid having carbs in your diet, right? Because they're all the enjoyable bits. And Fionn touched on a great point. If you have a low carb diet or a keto diet, your likelihood is you'll probably be climbing the walls at night because you won't be able to sleep. And the reason you won't be able to sleep is when we eat carbs, we go into the old carb coma, which allows us to relax. We produce hormones again, which allows us to relax, and we get a good night's sleep. Why would you not want that? Okay. So if you are struggling with sleep and for some reason all you're eating is just meat and veg or fish and veg, and you're thinking, I don't know why I can't sleep for, I've done nothing different, then that could be the reason why. So Fionn's definitely right. Have some carbohydrates at night, schedule in, they call it carb backloading, right? You save your carbohydrates for the evening, and that will allow you to relax, and it will allow those hormones to produce, and then you get a good night's sleep, okay?
Yeah.
Serotonin, okay? You'll have a good night's sleep. But
Spot on.
that's what we want to talk about. We want to try and get you all aspects of happiness, healthier and fitter, okay? It's not just about going to the gym, pumping iron. It's not about going just running. It's an amalgamation of all of it together. So if you can improve on your sleep, it's going to improve on all aspects of your life, all right? What would you say your mood was on a scale of 1 to 10 pre-18th birthday, Fionn?
Being generous, probably a 9. Yeah, not obviously no one's ever a 10 out of 10 happy buzzing. There's always something you're thinking about. But yeah, I was up there, definitely 8.5, 9. Everything was, as I've said before, like I said at the start, everything was set in stone, set in order. I was on it. Obviously, you're gonna have your times where you drop off. That's fine. We're all human. Don't beat yourself up. But not 10 out of 10. No, 8.5, 9 out of 10. Whereas now I've probably dropped down to 6.5, maybe a 7. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're all human. I mean, I countless times I've been to Ibiza 3 times. Right, I've come back. I've hit the 2 out of 10 for feeling. Right, I've been there. I've
Yeah.
done it. I've got the t-shirt, and you do have to have those blowouts sometimes. And I completely get that. You know, the pub's opened again. Great. You know, enjoy yourself. Let your hair down. Right, and then you realise now that actually that one night of feeling good does it. Is it really
4 nights of feeling naff, yeah.
exactly? And you've got to start realising is if you're in one of those situations where you're kind of in that rut, you've got to look at everything. You've got to look at sleep, stress, nutrition, activity, exercise, because when you are doing all those, it's an amazing feeling great. Like, and I'm not talking about trying to make out I'm better than anyone else. I'm definitely not. I've made my own mistakes and I've had good weeks, bad weeks, and I still have, moody days and bad days. I'm not 100% all the time. No one ever is. They would be fibbing if they told you they were. But if you can manage all of those, you're going to be set up to have a much better day. All right. And we could go on. I could talk hours about positivity, mindfulness, setting your day up right, daily habits. But the sleep for us is a key thing. It's easy. You lie back, close your eyes, and it's done, right? And if you struggle with sleep, implement those things we talked about, but it's not going to happen overnight, all right? One thing I missed out massively, and I'll tell you what, it's a game changer, and Fionn spoke about it, meditation. I mean, Fionn does the Calm app, I do Headspace, right? They're both the same. They both do the same thing. If you don't want to pay for an app, you could just literally go on YouTube and type in 10-minute meditation, right? If you don't want to do anything, you could just lie there and just 10 minutes and just focus on your breathing, right? That to me, first thing I wake up in the morning, has been a game changer to me, reducing my stress, reducing anxiety, and also going to bed. I'll be honest, all right? I had a struggle with sleep for about 2 months, about 2 years ago, and it was awful, right? And the more I thought about it, the more I tried to, get to sleep, the worse it got. Sometimes you have to just let yourself accept that you're going for a stressful situation. It's not the end of the world. Your body will sleep when it wants to sleep. And the meditation helped massively. Is there anything before we end, Fionn? Because I think that's a great thing to end on. Is there anything you'd say before you go?
I mean, I'm lost for words because I think we've absolutely hit the nail on the head there. I think we've covered it. I think probably what you just touched on then to finish, if you are having a bit of a hard time and if you are struggling with any different aspect, but obviously the topic today is sleep, but with anything, whether it's your exercising, your diet, your sleep, your routine, whatever it is, just accept that sometimes you are going to fall off and you're going to have these downtimes. Because one thing massively for me, and I've noticed over this lockdown, is that social media in general, I know it's a little bit off topic, but social media in general paints this picture of having this wonderful, amazing, great time, amazing life. There's the dog. No, go on out. Go on. She's gonna knock my laptop over. It paints this picture of people having this, 10 out of 10 amazing experience of life and time, but actually that's usually only 10% of the stuff that they go through. So to rewind back to where I started, if you're having a hard time, try not to look at these big figures and these big outlooks on life, whether it's people, whether it's businesses. Just take some time to relax, do something that you enjoy, or find something that you're going to enjoy, and just maybe accept defeat for a little bit of time and just try and find yourself, and just consider that, like I said before, we all fall off sometimes. And for me, it took this 18th experience for me. Saturday had a great time, Sunday had a great time, Monday had a great time, Tuesday I was like, I'm back to work tomorrow, and then I just plummeted. Bam, that's it. But I'm accepting defeat. I'm feeling a little bit better than I was yesterday, a little bit better than the day before, but it's going to take a while for me to get back to that. But I've put systems in place. I've got my routine back, sleeping well, listening to my podcast again. I trained yesterday. My glass of water, just little things. My glass of water as soon as I woke up, hydrated, bam. So just take the time out and just accept that maybe you're going through a rough patch, and that's absolutely fine.
you remember the song in it? I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. That one, yeah. Do you remember that in your eyes or your ears? Sorry, your
Have that
eyes.
as your alarm clock.
Exactly. But like Fionn said, if you fall off the wagon, I talk about a lot. If you've I'm just trying to slow it down. If you were doing loads of stuff, all your habits were great, yeah, and you've completely gone off them, don't try and go straight back to where they were before, because that might be too much. You know, I'm talking if you fall off the wagon for weeks, months, years, just don't forget about what you were here. Just start implementing nice, easy little steps, baby steps, gradually improving. And yeah, having a glass of water in the morning will not drastically change your health overnight. Getting 7 hours sleep rather than 6 hours of sleep will not drastically change your health overnight. Being in a deficit and eating quality, nutrient-rich foods will not change your health overnight. Exercising, we can go on about this for ages. Amalgamation of all of those together, right? Encompassing all of those together and not just doing it for the days or the weeks and wondering why you haven't got results, right? Looking at long term, looking at 4, 5, 6 months to a year down the line, and then looking back and thinking, bloody hell, how far have I traveled? We're in a world where people want it here and now. And I'm telling you, we're not selling here and now, right? Because here and now is like selling snake oil. Yeah, it doesn't exist. We'll be honest, we can't get you overnight results because you can't get overnight successes. What we implement is we implement small, consistent, sustainable changes, week in, week out, month in, month out, and our clients get results, right? I cannot stress that enough. We're good at what we do. That's it, right? So if you're any of the people that do need help, send us a message. We're happy to help, okay? Get in touch with us and we can set you on the right path to success. And that's what it's all about, okay? There's none of these, 7 days to abs, for example, doesn't happen. It's about making small, sustainable changes in the right way, decrease the not so good habits, and you will be onto an absolute winner, all right? I feel like that's what we've got enough for, haven't we? Well, I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing. You're on a bit of a time. You're on a little bit of a mad one there, but I was saying, use the analogy, right? I don't know if anyone out there remembers, because you're maybe a little bit old. It was my time, but Power Rangers, right? There was like 5 of them, all different colors, right? But when they all come together and they all slotted together, they made this huge monster, and it was like this thing that overcome everything, beat it. Use that analogy. Sleep, you've got exercise, you've got diet, you've got drinking your glass of water. As soon as you wake up, this, all stick it together, and it's a massive force, and it's going to push you through.
Do you know, you're on about the new Power Rangers, right? When I was younger, I had the Power Rangers, the original Power Rangers. Do you see what I mean? So your Power Rangers aren't the Power Rangers that were originals. I'm part of the original Power Rangers. Do you know what I mean? It's mad, isn't it?
Wrinkles on my face, yeah, that's the thing.
Hey, I hope that helps everyone. We're over and out. And I just want to say, everyone, thanks very much for listening in. It's great. And like we said, always make sure you give us a share. You share this information as much as you can. Share it with a friend. If it helped you, make sure you reach out to other people and let them know about it, because we want to try and help as many people. So thank you very much for listening, and we will be back soon for a brand new show.